So if you've been on the internet at all searching how to lose weight, how to get ripped, how to get toned up, how to change your life, you've probably heard some coach at some point tell you it's all about your habits and that you need to change your habits and you need to dial in your habits, which sounds pretty good. But number one, if you don't understand truly what habits are, and secondly, you don't know how to change them, you're going to end up very frustrated. And a lot of you watching this video have probably been in that very situation where you told yourself you're going to create these new habits and this is the time, and you started off well, but then very quickly you fell off. Well, if that is you, this is the perfect video for you, because I'm going to explain exactly what habits are, and most importantly, I'm going to tell you how to actually change them. But not only am I going to tell you how to change habits, I'm going to tell you and explain to you how to get rid of the habits that don't serve you. So let's jump right into it. So what really are habits? Well, habits are a bunch of neurons that fire off in a certain order. Think of it like, when habits take root, they create what's called neural pathways. Now, neural pathways they're like channels, or they're like canals. So the deeper a habit is, the deeper the neural pathway becomes. So what starts off as kind of maybe just a sliver, the more you do that habit, the more consistently you do it, it takes deeper and deeper root, and then it creates a deeper channel. So really, what are habits? Not the biological terminology. Habits are simply patterns. Now, these are patterns that some of them we learn consciously, but most of your habits you learned unconsciously. You didn't even know you picked up those habits, and that's part of the problem. You learned habits from your parents. You learned habits from people you grew up with. Some of these habits serve you, but a lot of them don't serve you. That's why you're probably stuck overweight, or struggling to get ripped, or struggling going to the gym. But you're here and you want to create those new habits. So let's really talk about how we do this. Now, habits is something we naturally create. You don't have to try to create habits. It's something we do naturally as humans. It's convenient for us to create habits because it makes things easier. It allows us to consume less energy, to burn less calories. Habits allow us to not have to think about doing what needs to be done. The cool thing about habits is once they take root, once a habit is installed, it's no different than driving your car on autopilot. It takes a lot of the work out of the equation. It actually consumes on gas. It's the same thing with your physical body. Once a habit takes root, you don't have to rely on things like willpower and motivation. It's just things you do automatically. You don't wake up and have to have the motivation to brush your teeth. You don't rely on willpower to take a bath every single day. Those are habits that are ingrained in, which no matter what, doesn't matter where you're at, whether you're at your house or whether you're on vacation, you brush your teeth. Whether you're home or off on work, you take a shower. These are non-negotiables. They're habits. Well, the same thing will apply to your workout schedule or your eating regimen once they become habits. I'm going to share with you 3 ways that you can develop new habits. I particularly like the third way because not only is it phenomenal at quickly and efficiently developing new habits, it's also going to allow you to get rid of any habits that don't serve you. So the first way we're going to talk about, it's my least favorite because it relies too much on willpower and motivation, and as humans, we pretty much suck at that. Or let me be more politically correct, things usually don't pan out well. This is also the one most people tend to use. It's also the one most gurus and most books talk about. It's repetition. This is when you create a certain protocol that is going to give you the desired result. So the desired result would be to have whatever habit you want. Let's just say it's the habit of getting up early, and you come up with a protocol that you follow over and over and over until the habit takes root. You've probably heard things like it takes 21 days to create a habit. Well, this is in reference to the repetition technique. The thing about the repetition technique is that I personally don't like is, like I said before, it relies too much on willpower, too much on motivation. Now, when you first start this habit, let's just say you want to create the habit of getting up early. When you first start, your threshold is very, very high. You're excited, you're motivated, it's new, you're ready to go. So the first couple days, you're going to have no problem getting up because you're very motivated. But once you get to that second and third week, you're going to start to struggle with it because of the lack of motivation. And then you're going to have to rely on willpower, which willpower, depending on the type of person you are, it will get you a certain extent, but willpower is only going to get you so far. It's not the best way to leverage yourself. Let's just use that. It's not the best tool because motivation comes and goes. Willpower, well, sometimes it's there, sometimes it's not. Now, this second way that I'm going to talk about, it's when you combine the first way and the second way. I call it visualization repetition. This is when you take the first technique, which was repetition, but instead of just repeating the same procedure, you actually visualize each step from the start to the end. So let's use the same scenario. You decide you want to get up early. Okay, well, you walk through the process step by step. So what is the first thing that needs to happen for you to actually wake up early? Well, you're going to have to set your alarm. Okay, what happens after you set your alarm? Okay, you turn your alarm off, you get out of bed. Then the next step is you go to the bathroom and you brush your teeth. And then the next step is you put on your workout clothes, and then you put on your shoes, and then you head out the door and you start your car, and you do every single step, but you're visualizing this in your head. It may seem very elementary, but this takes the first step and 10x's it. The results that you're going to get by this is a million times better than just using repetition. Because with the visualization method, you can do it over and over and over and over in your head without actually going through the actual steps. So it might take you one day to actually go through the repetition aspect of it, but visualization, I can sit down for 5 minutes and visualize the whole scenario happening 10, 20, 30 times with intensity. It doesn't take much more effort, but the results are tenfold better. Now, the third method, this is my absolute favorite. I actually learned this from Tony Robbins, which if you don't know Tony Robbins, in my opinion, he's probably one of the best in his field of taking people and transforming them in a very short time frame. This one is when you apply a massive amount of leverage to whatever habit it is that you're looking to establish. So you're either going to link a massive amount of pain to not doing the habit that you want to do, or you're going to link a massive amount of pleasure to doing the habit that you're going to want to do. Now, to even get a crazier result, you're going to take both of those scenarios, so a massive amount of pain to not doing the habit that you want to do, a massive amount of pleasure to doing the habit you want to do, and combine those both. If you can do both of those, you can instantly change. It doesn't take very long when you do this. When I say instantly, I literally mean instantly. So let's use the same scenario of you decide you want to get up early. You want to create the habit of getting up early. Well, you have to create a massive amount of pain to not getting up early. So, and this is when your imagination, you really want it to take root. What happens if you don't get up early? What's the penalty for you not getting up early, right? How's your wife going to look at you when you say you were going to do something you don't do? How are your kids going to look at you? Whatever is going to generate the massive amount of pain needed if you didn't do it. And then what you're going to do, what's the massive amount of pleasure you're going to get from getting up early, right? Not many people are excited about the act of actually getting up early, but if you link them both to a bigger cause, right? It's not about just getting up early, right? Getting up early requires discipline. Getting up early, it makes you better than 90% of the population because they're not willing to get up early. And again, you stack them. What's the benefits? To where you're so excited and thrilled to get up early, it's like it's already happened. This method is so effective because as humans, we're trained, we're not even trained, it's built into our DNA to naturally move away from pain and move towards pleasure. We're hardwired for that. So you're just taking basic human psychology and you're hardwired, like you're just using it to your advantage when creating new habits. So yes, if you want to get in the best shape of your life, is it going to require creating new habits? 100%. But you have to fully understand how to create the new habits and how to get rid of the old habits. So hopefully this video made some sense to you guys. Hopefully you guys got some value, and I'll catch you on the next one. Peace.